Turn that fan off. Copy, go to Twitter, tweet this thing out. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Okay. Yo, yo, yo. What is good, YouTube? What is good, gamers? It is your boy, Lincoln Clay, coming at you. Remember to hit the like button, help spread the content to a wider audience. I would appreciate it. And make sure you hit the bell icon so you can stay notified when I put out new content. I would appreciate that as well. If you are a new subscriber, welcome to the channel. I hope you are enjoying the content. And so getting straight to it. I just want to say that the prizes have been sent out to the winners. What up, J-Dog? Ryan, I've sent you a screenshot or a pic of the Mass Effect Andromeda game still in the wrapper, sitting on top of the envelope that it was mailed to you in. So it went out this morning, and despite the holiday, the post office is still claiming that it should reach you by Tuesday. So, but because of the holiday, I would look for it on Wednesday to be safe. If it comes Tuesday, great. And then VidKid, I sent you 3 screenshots, which I think you didn't come with the right answer in time, Spartan God. But hey, you know, I'll do another giveaway when I hit 300 subs. And then VidKid, I sent you 3 screenshots. One of the front of the PSN card, so you can see that it was a $25 card. They didn't have $20 cards, so you got an extra bonus. I took a picture of the back of the card before I scratched off the code, and then a third picture after I scratched off the code. So enjoy that, and congratulations on being the winner. I know Spartan God, but hey, you know, still look for me when I hit 300. I'll do another giveaway when I hit 300. You know, and I kind of like the way I did that in terms of like, hey, guess who this is? I like that, but I think the next time I do a giveaway, I'll probably do it live so I can see the comments coming in live right then and there. So we won't, you know, have this confusion again about who, you know, sent their their comments at what time. So VidKid was the correct winner, but something with the YouTube shit, you know, didn't allow me to see his comment from my phone. I had to go to the PC to see it, you know, and that was after Ryan confirmed it. That's cool. That's cool, Spartan God. But you know, I have to show my appreciation because this channel has far exceeded my expectations. I mean, I started my YouTube channel in the middle of December, so to hit 200 subs in almost 6 months is phenomenal to me. So I am more than happy, and it's like I said, I've already achieved my goal, and that is to have enough subs that when I go live, I can have a conversation, you know, with the chat, and I enjoy interacting with everybody. And so I'm not going to be on a long time, you know, an hour at the most. For one thing, I want to be able to get some time in on Detroit Become Human. I want to spend some time playing that before we do the Lincoln show with Foxy Games UK. What is up, Gunru Gaming? Hey, you know, other than talking about Detroit Become Human, I don't have a whole lot going on. So if you want to jump in here, I'll send you a link. You know, but hey, like I always do, I'll send you the link if you can make it, great. You know, if not, you know, enjoy the show. So let's go here. Invite people. Copy. Twitter. Mr. Gunru Gaming. Send direct message. Paste. Send. Link. Boom. So there's your link. Feel free to jump in if you want. And so, as I was saying before, I'm not going to be on. I don't think I'm going to be on more than an hour. I want some time to play Detroit Become Human and just catch up on playing some games in general, before we do the Lincoln show with Foxy Games UK. That is cut in the stone. I just got through talking to Foxy again a few minutes ago on Twitter, and he, if anything, he wanted to make sure that we were still on. So we're definitely on the same page. It is definitely a go. 3 p.m. Eastern. That's in a few hours. 3 p.m. Eastern time. Foxy Games UK will be my guest on the Lincoln show. I've already put my questions together for him. That work is out of the way. So after I get done playing this, I'm just gonna, enjoy playing games for a couple hours before I hook up with Foxy. So now that I've covered that part about the prizes being sent out, I want to give my thoughts on Detroit Become Human, and I'll start by saying that it is arguably the best game I have ever seen. I mean, it's the best looking game that I've ever seen, arguably. I might even, I'll probably even go out on a limb to say that it looks, slightly better than God of War. But God, that's hard. That's a tough one to beat, because when I saw God of War, without a doubt, it was the best looking game I had ever seen on the PlayStation or gaming period. And I think Detroit Become Human beats it out slightly. I was a huge fan of. Let me refresh the page here. I was a huge fan of Heavy Rain. I really liked that game, so there was no doubt in my mind I was going to like Detroit Become Human. Now already I've run into some obstacles, as to say. No problems with the games. It's just some of the Savage Yuger is up. I've made a couple of questionable decisions that I've got the funny feeling I might wind up regretting. And so one of the decisions that I've made, I think I'm actually going to get a second chance from it. I made a decision with Marcus that I think ended up costing me, but I think I'm going to get a second chance with that one. The situation with Kara and Alice, I think I made a decision with that one that's going to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm not sure. But I got to tell you, I love that game. As we speak right now, Sick Humor is streaming that game. And he loves the game. And he pointed out that one thing that is definitely helpful is to read the magazines when you see them, because they do provide information. And so I read the first magazine explaining about, a possible Android quarterback, being implemented into football, which I thought that was like, man, what if something like that really happened? You know what I mean? Can you imagine like Tom Brady being replaced by an Android for the New England Patriots? That would really be interesting, and then in the magazine, I'm not trying to be spoiler or anything like that, but the magazines are a very small part of the game that I don't think, affects the gameplay, at least not that I've run across so far. But I'm reading that article about androids being inserted into sports. And at the time that, without a doubt, Savage is the best Quantic Dream game I played. I haven't played any. Heavy Rain is the only other Quantic Dream game that I've played, and those two are good enough for me. Detroit and Heavy Rain are good enough for me. Once I finish Detroit Become Human, I have a decision to make whether I'm going to go back and play Detroit Become Human again, so I can try to, get some different results than what I'm getting right now, or I might go back and play Heavy Rain again. And because I bought the digital deluxe version of Detroit Become Human, and it came with a copy of Heavy Rain, and I played it for about 10 seconds. And I have to say, even though that is a last gen game, on the PS3, Heavy Rain is still a good looking game. It's still, you can make a case that it still looks better than some of these games out here today. Jamal Adams, what is good? Skip Bayless, what is good? The Coon, what is good? So I don't know at what point you caught this podcast, Coon, but yes, I said it. Detroit Become Human is arguably the best looking game that I've ever seen in terms of graphics. because the gameplay may not be for everybody. Some people might see this as a point and click game, but I really like this game, and I'm going out on the limb to say that now that you're officially in here, Coon, what is good? And I said it before, I would officially go out on a limb and say that Detroit Become Human in terms of graphics they are a micro thin slice better than God of War. In some parts of the game, the colors are so vibrant, and just like in any PlayStation exclusive, the environment is just so detailed. They pay so much attention to detail. All these games, all these PlayStation exclusives, yes, better than The Water and Sea of Thieves. The graphics are amazing. And then the thing about it is, yeah, my PlayStation Pro sounds like a jet, but it's not working near as hard as it does on God of War. Because without a doubt, God of War puts my PlayStation Pro through the most stress. Yeah, Kuhn, I absolutely love Detroit Become Human. Emmy Khan, it's great that you were able to catch me live. And if you happen to be around at 8 p.m. UK time, I'll be doing a Saturday edition of the Lincoln Show where my guest will be Foxy Games UK. So, one of your fellow countrymen. So make sure you catch that. And I definitely got some good questions for him, especially with some of the connections that he has. So you definitely want to catch that. And Kuhn, that demo for Detroit Become Human, I only played it through once because the fact of the matter is, I thought that demo was going to be a big chunk of the game. So I thought if I kept playing that demo through, I was going to eat up 1/3 of the game, and then there wasn't going to be much content left when I actually play the game. But the fact of the matter is that demo is the beginning of the game. And now that I'm understanding how the stories are playing out, these stories play out in chapters. You got 3 different stories, and they play out in chapters. And the demo at the beginning, the demo for Detroit Become Human was only just a small part of the game. So, and then the demo, some of the choices that you have to make in this game, you can't like sit there and get up and pace the room and try to decide what you're going to do. Some of these choices, you only have a few seconds to make a decision. And as far as that demo goes, I can talk about that demo a little bit because a lot of people have seen the demo. So the first time I played that demo, I played it out exactly. You shot the android right in the face, Coon. The first time I played that demo, I played it out exactly the way they did it at PSX when they showcased the Detroit demo. I played it out exactly the way the developer did when he showed it to the audience. I did it exactly the way he did it. So now when I played the actual game and that same scenario was in front of me again, because I took too long to make some decisions, I had to go face that android with insufficient, with not enough information to ascertain the situation. And so, and while I'm talking to him, he was stabilizing 1 minute and then he was becoming unstable the next minute. So I was forced to have to make a move, and so I saved the girl, but both Connor and the android fell off the side of the building. And I definitely want to go back and correct that because I didn't want to see that, because I like the ending. I want to see a different ending though. Let me see. Do we have a joiner in here?
What's up, Lincoln? This is Gunru.
What's up, man? Go ahead, shoot the intro to everybody.
What's up, everybody? This is Gunru Gaming in the building with my boy Lincoln, man. I'm glad to be on with him and talk some gaming. You can go to my channel and sub. I got my first intro video out at the Gunru Gaming channel. Follow me on Twitter at Gunru Gaming. And I will be posting more content real soon. Just been real busy, man, with my kids, with traveling 3 days a week for baseballs right now towards the end of baseball season. So I'll be finishing that up. and I've been dealing with a migraine the past couple of days. So your boy gonna be here, man. So I look forward to having y'all sub to my channel, man. If y'all like my content, if you don't, that's cool too, man. As long as y'all in the chat and as long as y'all gaming. So I know that intro is kind of long, man, but you had to get that out there.
Oh, that's definitely good, you know, and always promote your channel. And as far as that goes, I would say, you know, go ahead and post something in the comment section, anything, even if you're just saying hello, so the viewers can, you know, highlight it, and then it will give them an option to go to your channel. So
Appreciate it.
So definitely do that, so you can give these viewers a chance to check out your page and sub to your channel. So when you see the comment comes up from Gunru Gaming, make sure you check out his channel. Make sure you sub to his channel. Help support him. You know, Emmy Khan, you said you're going to pick up Detroit next week. That's funny because I just talked to Porter Rock a few seconds ago on Twitter and asked him how he liked Detroit. And he said his wife got it for him, but she's in the United States right now while he's in Germany, and she's not due back till the 30th, so he won't be able to play it till then. So I'm thinking to myself, if I would have been in that position, well, I might have I might have been fiending like because I knew that's why I bought the digital version of that game, because I knew I was not going to want to wait until I got to a store to pick up a physical copy. I had to have that shit unlocked at midnight. Do you understand me? Midnight. So what about you, Gunru? Have you played the game yet?
I don't. I have not bought it yet, but I am going to get it. I just want to get some more God of War in, get towards finishing that up before I jump into Detroit Become Human. You know, I gotta ask, how long is the game? Is it like a 30-hour game? Is it kind of short story mode? How long is it?
I don't know, but because of the multiple scenarios that the game presents to you, it has replay value.
Okay.
So you might see an ending, because after each chapter ends, you get like a bracket. It looks like a bracket, but it's a breakdown of the decisions that you made, and you'll see the ones that the decisions that you made. You'll see like blue boxes, and the decisions that you didn't make, that you didn't unlock, they'll be in red. So the game has replay value. Based on that, I really don't know how many hours the game is. I want to say that I've heard that the game is 25 to 30 hours, just like God of War, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, I see Emmy Khan in the chat saying he liked the plat games 100% before he move on. That's kind of like where I'm at. It's like I feel like I got unfinished business with God of War, so I kind of want to, finish that up, get that out of the way, and then, go see what's next. And maybe it'll be Detroit Become Human after that, But I'm enjoying watching you guys stream it. I watched Six stream. I looked at your stream a little bit. So, it's holding me over till I get it.
Emmy Khan, how you were saying you always platinum a game. I don't have not one single platinum. And the biggest reason for that is I don't finish a lot of games. And then the other problem is when I play games, I either I play them on normal, because I want a little bit of a challenge, but more than anything, I want to see the game play out like a movie. I'm more interested in the story than trophies. And that's why a game like Detroit Become Human was right up my alley.
Yeah, I want to, if I'm gonna have, my YouTube channel, I want to be able to experience the full game and to let the, viewers know how I like it, so that can help them with their purchases, So that's definitely a game on my. And you know what? Listen, the summertime is coming up. After what? God of War, we got Detroit Become Human. It's gonna be a little dry throughout the summer, until that fall season hit with those big hitters coming. So I'll definitely be playing that between now and then. Detroit Become Human.
So, Skip Baylor says you got another Yakuza game coming to PS4. Not to mention that I'm sure in E3 coming up, we're going to get some information about some upcoming PSVR games. Hopefully, we'll get some dates, on games that I'm looking forward to, like Firewall, 0 Hour, Alvo, Special Forces VR, Blood and Truth. Those are games that I'm definitely looking forward to on the PSVR, and I'm hoping that we're going to get some information on those games come E3. I hope we'll get some concrete release dates, and I hope that they still plan on releasing those games this year like they originally advertised. But I don't know. There's a part of me that doesn't want to wait until E3. There's a part of me that wants to contact PSVR Frank and see what he's got for information, because he's in touch with developers for VR. They reach out to him. He reaches out to them. So a lot of times he has information. I've talked to him on a few occasions. So I'm thinking about reaching out to him again to see what he knows. But that, for me, that's what's going to fill the drought between Detroit Become Human and Spider-Man. So and I got a backlog a mile long, and I don't, I think as far as God of War goes, I think I'm probably only 60% through the game. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm close to that too.
And I've been dragging my feet with God of War. I think I only played it for about 15 minutes this week.
Yeah, I had my longest playtime with it yesterday, and I woke up today and played another couple hours. I only stopped because I seen you went live, and I want to, holler at you for a minute. So I took a break from it. But I've been really getting a lot of God of War in this weekend.
So you addicted to that game?
I am. I'm loving it, man. Taking my time with it, but at the same time, I want to finish it up so I can move on to some other stuff. Then I'm gonna go back to it too. Play it on that hardest difficulty.
Yeah. Wait. J-Dog. I may have to argue with you. I might have to slightly disagree with you. You say, what's the next big Sony exclusive coming? Spider-Man. True enough. I bet it will look better than Detroit slightly. That is a tall order, my friend. And the reason why I say that is I think you might be right as far as the cutscenes go. I wouldn't be surprised if the cutscenes on Spider-Man looks better than Detroit Become Human. But I think the actual gameplay, I think there might be a slight downgrade in graphics. That's just the way it is with games. It's just a cold, hard fact of life. Cutscenes always look better than actual gameplay. So, but because Detroit Become Human damn near looks like a movie, the gameplay, to me, I really don't see a downgrade in graphics from the actual gameplay. And I swear to God, that game, it looks like you're watching a movie. And you hit it right there on the head right there, Emicon. Too many games, not enough time. And based on all the games that I've got, I've said it before, I've got about 150 games for the PlayStation. And I think I probably only completed 5 of them, maybe 10 at the most. So that's 140 games that I haven't finished. So there's no way I'm going to be able to finish all those games before the next generation starts, because I also put a lot of time in on multiplayer. I love playing head to head on MLB The Show. I'm going to get back to playing GT Sport, because I've spent $200 for that racing wheel. So I'm going to get back to playing that on a regular basis. And you just said it right there, Emicon. I got to get back to the gym and get my gym time in. So I'm headed back to the gym Monday. My shoulder's still bothering me, but I think it's gotten better enough that I can go out and test it. So same thing, Lunkin. I've got a backlog that might last a couple of years. But so what about you, Gunru? So what's going to be the next move after you finish God of War and Detroit Become Human? I mean, you think you'll be able to finish those games off in a reasonable amount of time that might, leave you with a gap before Spider-Man comes out?
I want to. That's my goal. And I'll at least have God of War and Detroit Become Human done. And then I have, like you guys were saying, I have a humongous backlog too. And believe it or not, the majority of my backlog is on the Xbox, because I got a lot of the third-party titles that I want to finish too. That's on the Xbox, So I'm going to be kind of flipping back and forth, because I want to knock some more Sony exclusives out of the way too. The ones that I own, actually. And I want to pick up the Lost Legacy. I still want to play that. I'm kind of in the mood for some more Uncharted type games. I want to finish that Tomb Raider for the new Tomb Raider come out. So I got a lot of games to play, man. Mafia 3, I know that's one of your big titles that you love. I want to finish that up. And that's my Xbox One X. So I got a lot of gaming to do, man, over the summer.
Mm-hmm. And I played Mafia 3 twice. See, but the second time I played it was kind of an accident, because I played the game through once. And then once the first DLC dropped for the game, like a dummy, I couldn't find the DLC. So what I did was I played the entire game a second time, thinking that it would take me directly into the DLC, and and the DLC would pick up where the story ended. And then like after I finished it, then I saw like a dummy that it was right there in front of my face the whole time. Mimi Khan, you just trained shoulders and biceps, and you're doing cardio right now while you're listening to the show. Hey, I do that too when I'm at the gym. I listen to other people's podcasts too. It helps pass the time. It makes for a better workout as well. So have a good workout, my friend.
Yeah, enjoy, man. Wish I could get in there.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get back in there. In terms of what I weigh right now, I'm still weighing about 205 pounds, 5'9", 205. I'm fine with my weight, but because I have no question about it, I have lost a little bit of size in my arms because I haven't been in the gym. And truth be told, my chest is my best feature. So I still got a lot of chest left. So even if I lost any of my chest, it would only take some push-ups to get that back. But I got to go in there and put in that work to get my arms back, to get them back to where they were. So, but we'll get it back, and then I'll change my diet accordingly so I can try to get the most out of it. I'll try to take in more protein and a little bit more carbs, but we'll get back to where we're at. I'm not worried about it. So have you I don't know. I'll probably there's no probably about it. This is going to be one of my questions for Foxy Games UK about this shit that's going around about everybody getting uptight about a woman being in Battlefield 5.
Yeah, I've been seeing the rants, and I think people just find something to complain about. But what really is the problem? Like, I don't know what the problem is. Is it just because it's a woman that's on the cover, or is it?
I don't know if they're getting uptight because I don't know the whole story about the woman being in the game. I don't know if she's just part of the game or if she's the character that you play. That's what I don't know.
Right.
So but to me, what's the difference though? Because if you played Uncharted Lost Legacy, then what's the problem? I played Uncharted, and I'm going to be honest. I was a little bit skeptical about Uncharted Lost Legacy because I knew it was going to be an action-packed game just like Uncharted. But I thought that because the game centers around Chloe, I thought that they might have her doing some shit on there that's just absolutely impossible, having her doing some Superman shit. But because Nadine was working with her, Chloe was the brains of this operation, and Nadine was the muscle, and that chick could fight, because she could fight because she had that background. She grew up, fighting her whole life. So, and Chloe was a decent fighter too. So some parts of the game, they had the double team dudes. So that, Uncharted, The Lost Legacy was an amazing game. The graphics were great. The artwork was amazing. The attention to detail. And I mean, it's becoming all these PlayStation exclusive. They pay so much attention to detail that I'm beginning to think that's one of the stipulations coming from Sony, that they have to, pay attention to detail.
Right.
It seems to be a standard in all these games, because I haven't seen a PlayStation exclusive that didn't have some amazing detail.
Yep. And so, yeah, exactly. Listen, women are in war, and I have an aunt that served in the military, so that didn't bother me one bit, having a female on the cover of Battlefield. I don't get it, man.
Me neither. Oh shit.
And they do play games now.
Something just.
You having trouble?
No. Something just dawned on me. I was supposed to pick my son up at 4:30 Eastern time, but I'm gonna have to get a hold of his mother and let him know that we're gonna have to push it back till 5 or 5:30, because I don't know how long the Leaking Show is gonna go with Foxy Games UK, because if it's going pretty good, I'm not gonna cut it short.
Yeah.
And after talking to him, he is really down to earth, and he has 15,000 subscribers. But I was surprised that he was the one, we both kept in touch with each other, but you know, I didn't have to chase him down and ask him, you know, hey, are we still going to do this? You know, I contacted him that one time and said, you know, are we still on? He was like, of course, you know, and he said he was looking forward to it. And then he contacted me a couple of times and said, hey, are we still on? And then he says, hey, send me a friend request on PlayStation. This is my gamer tag, you know, and he was like, this is just a precaution in case I don't see your link on Twitter. You know, he said, send me a link on Twitter and contact me on PlayStation too. So he said he's really looking forward to doing this. So I'm really excited to have him on here. He said some things that were absolutely classic in some of his podcasts. And but I'm going to wait until the Lincoln show before I bring those up again. I don't want to bring them up now and take some of the steam out of it. So I'll hold those back until I go live with Foxy.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Even if I'm out, because I got some errands to run, I'll have my headphones in and I'll be listening to it while I'm out doing my errands. So yeah, I hope it is gonna be a good show, man. I love your interviews, your one-on-one interviews, man, with the guests. So it's gonna be none short of spectacular, man. Looking forward to it. And Foxy Game, you're absolutely right. He is down to earth, man. Look, you know, he support me, and every time I send him something on Twitter or chat with him, he respond right back. So you know, he's a real down to earth guy, man. So hopefully I can appear in one of his podcasts one of these days and talk some gaming with him, or he can come on my podcast, whatever, you know.
Well, he said that he likes helping the smaller YouTube channels because, for one thing, there's no ego. Because he said when he's dealing with people that has as many subscribers as he has, or even more, egos, you know, kick in. So, you know, and Porter Rock said, you know, when I did the show with him, when we talked, he, you know, said the same thing, that he enjoys, you know, helping the smaller channels grow. And he was another one that is very down to earth, you know. And it was like after we got done doing the Lincoln show, Porter Rock and we were talking off air for about a good half hour, 45 minutes. You know, and I just talked to him a few minutes ago on Twitter. So two good people, you know, Porter Rock and Foxy Games UK. Everybody that's been on the Lincoln show has been awesome. Everybody that's been on the Lincoln show, they're intelligent. They have good insight of the gaming industry, and they all have their own style, you know, of how they deliver it. So it seems like every time I say to myself, okay, it might be time to go ahead and start round 2 of the Lincoln show and start asking some of these guests to come back, another opportunity presents itself. And so, you know, and it happened now. So, I mean, Foxy Games will be on today, but the way things are looking, I'm working towards having OBJ the Don be my next guest. You know, I understand that, you know, he took a break for a while from making videos, and he just, you know, got back in it. And he has a pretty good sized channel too. I think he has like 3,500 subscribers too.
Right. Yep.
So, you know, and I definitely like to ask him, where did he get the trash from? You know, so it'll be cool getting him on the show. So keep your eyes on that. I'll keep everybody posted. I'll reach out to OBJ the Don this weekend, and you know, and ask him if he's interested in coming on the show, and then we'll try to get a date worked out.
Okay.
So, Savage, you just finished your first playthrough of Detroit. You already finished the game?
It's amazing. Good job, man. Gosh, I wish I could. Man, I want to be on his level, man. That's why I got to knock this God of War out, man, so I can grab that, run through that too, and knock these. Let me tell y'all something what's going on with my Xbox that's pissing me off. Anybody on the chat chime in?
Let's go.
Man, listen. Okay, so this is a $500 Xbox. I don't know what the problem is, but is anybody else, you know, in the chat, sound off? If y'all having this problem, if y'all own an Xbox One X, or is it happening on the S as well? So look, I can play a game, turn my Xbox all the way off, right? I come back to turn it on, get ready to fire up a game. I got to go through the complete process of hooking up my Xbox One X again to my Wi-Fi internet, just like I bought it for the first time. So I have to literally unplug the cords, sign in with my password from my Wi-Fi, then connect, Then I can sign into my name. Then I can play a game. I got to go through that 3-step process every single time. I don't know what the problem with Microsoft is with this Xbox One X. It's not the Scorpio edition. I bought the standard Xbox One X. So I don't know if it's just Xbox One X in general, or is it all the Xboxes, or if it's some with Xbox Live. I don't know. But I got to do this every single time I turn my Xbox off. It's pissing me off, man.
Lunkin Lunker said, check your settings. And real quick, VidKid, check your Twitter because I sent the code to you.
Check my settings, like what, like
that I don't know, but like I have the original Xbox One, and every now and then my controller will lose sync with the console, and when I go try to resync them, it won't sync. So what I end up having to do is I end up having to unplug the Xbox and then plug it back up and then resync it for the controller and the console to be in sync. So yeah, just it's just shit that I have to deal with just to watch fucking YouTube on my Xbox because I don't play games on that shit. So
yeah, I gotta do it because I was so committed to the Xbox One. I got such a backlog of games on there that I have to just go in there and finish. But like I was telling, who was I telling? I forgot who I told this to, but I plan on just buying even my third-party titles. Because I was one of those guys who like, oh, I bought all the third-party titles on the Xbox and I buy just exclusives for Sony. That's why I only own exclusives for Sony, except for, you know, maybe a couple games. But that's all changing for me. Like I'm totally just, you know,
right.
Xbox.
Hey, VidKid, if you would do me a favor, please check your Twitter now and confirm that you did get it. I mean, I know it was received, but I wanted to, you know, make sure that, you know what I mean? Because when I first searched you in Twitter, I almost followed the wrong person. So I had to go back and, you know, double check and look at it and pay attention to the underscores and whatnot. So it's there, but if you would do me a favor, please double check and confirm that you got it, even though I'm like 99.9% sure you got it.
Yeah, Crap Gamer will damage control everything, Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we could.
I think if Skip Bayless, if Microsoft has a shitty E3, Crap Gamer will be the only one left still talking about it was a great E3. And he'll still be the only one out there talking about Microsoft can still get back in this console war, even though this shit's been over for years. So Wanye Tuda, you said you don't finish Detroit in one setting. I know I won't because who said the comment that they're savoring the game? I'm savoring it. Yeah, I definitely don't blame you, VidKid, for avoiding all gameplay of this game. But I think because of the multiple choices that you have in front of you, that if you were to stumble across some footage accidentally and you only saw like 30 seconds of footage, it wouldn't hurt you. You know, to me, it's not a game like God of War where you're playing the story straight through and you have to make choices. You have to play the game straight through. Detroit, you know, there's a lot of choices to be made, and it could have repercussions down the line. So, so I take it you're going to get some gaming in tonight, Gunru, or?
Yeah, you know, when I get out of here, I'm gonna do another mission or a couple missions in God of War, and then I'll, you know, take a break. Then I'll be doing some more gaming tonight too, man. I'm gonna watch this Warriors Rockets game. That's later on tonight though, so I'll definitely be doing some gaming today.
The Rockets have a chance to put the Warriors away. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And I want to witness it firsthand. I know they don't have Chris Paul, but I want to still see if they can pull this off and get these Warriors up out of there. I'm sick of these boys, man. Sick of them.
I don't have I no longer have cable, so I'm hoping this game will be on ABC on the major network. So I think I can still watch it on my Xbox through the ESPN app if it's on ABC, because they do seem to let you watch sports that are broadcast through ABC.
Well, this one will be on TNT, but the finals will be on ABC, so you'll be able to watch the finals, which is cool.
Okay. I mean, I could find other methods, and find websites and whatnot to, stream it, but it would be some bootleg shit, and I don't want to sit chained to the computer. I want to see it from the comfort of my 65-inch 4K TV.
Yeah. What's that, Luke and Lunker? I hope I said that right. But I think the Rockets going to win, too. I really think they're going to pull this off, man, even without Chris Paul. I just think they got their number, man.
Okay. And Vid Kid, thanks for confirming that you got the code. I really appreciate it. And so, death to the Warriors, huh? I don't have a problem. I never had a problem with the Warriors. What I had a problem with the Warriors is how Kevin Durant jumped on their bandwagon, and then his attitude changed, and he started becoming a complete asshole to the media. Even though, I know they was pushing his buttons by asking him fucked up questions, but it seemed like the tiniest shit was triggering him. So,
right.
So other than Kevin Durant being there, I don't really have a problem with the Warriors. That's not to say that I want them to win. I just don't have a problem with them. And I'm a type of person that once somebody establishes themselves as an elite team and they win a couple championships, 2 or 3 championships, I'm ready to see some new blood get in there anyway. And Chris Paul is one of the people I'd like to see get a ring before he get out of there. He plays he's a facilitator. He's a great passer. He's a scorer. He can do it all. Don't get me wrong. He got his ankles broke a couple of times by Steph, but he's still an amazing player.
He got Steph a couple times too.
Skip Bayless. I live in Grand Rapids, Michigan. My loyalty is to all of the Detroit teams except the Lions. I love the Detroit Tigers. I love the Detroit Red Wings. I love the Detroit Pistons. I used to love the Detroit Lions, but the owner, he's deceased now, but the owner, William Clay Ford, he ran that team like it was a fucking factory. He was not interested in getting to the Super Bowl. He was interested in keeping that stadium full, to get the profits. And because of that, he was also keeping costs down. He would only pay the star players like Barry Sanders, which he had to fight tooth and nail to get his money. He would pay people like Barry Sanders and maybe one other person to put bodies in the seats, but everybody else was getting below their market value or playing for league minimum. And the rookies were definitely getting league minimum. And so with that being said, he wasn't committed to getting to a Super Bowl. He was committed to keeping that stadium full. And I thought, why should I be loyal to a team that operates like that? Kind of like what Microsoft is doing. They're interested in keeping them fucking profits up, but they're not delivering a good product. So why the fuck would I be, why the fuck should I be invested in their brand?
Right. I agree. That's why, man. That's why I'm not investing in any more games for Microsoft. I don't have nothing. You know what? I logged on the other day. I had to renew my live subscription. I didn't even know it expired. That's how long I've been without playing it.
That is the only thing that is a guarantee from me as far as Microsoft goes, is that I will have to renew my Xbox Live membership. Why? Because my son.
Yeah, he shared with me too.
Yes, that is the only reason. But I swear to God, if my son says he wants to make that jump, he already has a PlayStation 4. But if he tells me he don't really give a fuck about the Xbox anymore, as soon as my Xbox Live membership cancels, I would be done.
Man, that trash State of Decay. I can't believe I wasted my time on that game.
Shit. That game just never looked good to me from the start. It looked like an indie game.
Yeah, I told everybody. I went off the eye test, and I didn't even want to mess with it, but I wanted to give it a shot and see. But that game is just pure garbage. Buggy. There's all kinds of glitches in the game. No story to the game. So you just, pretty much taking instructions and going about it. You're doing all of this setting up the base for no reason. Hardly any zombies around. You move is clunky. It's just the graphics are horrible. The animations are garbage. It just looked like a matter of fact, not even a 360 game. It could look like a regular Xbox One game. I could point out Xbox One games that look better than this game. It's not even all about the looks. It just play awful. And the whole setup is the UI that is so difficult to move around the menus. It's just, I couldn't figure out what the hell I was doing. Am I crafting something? Am I supposed to do this? It was no tutorial on how to do this, how to do that. It was just pure laziness to me, man, in my opinion. And I played it for a little over an hour, and I was just like, God, I can't do this no more. I tried it, matter of fact, 2 hours, because I played it again. I gave it another run for another hour. And I was just like, I can't do it, man.
You know, games like State of Decay and see, let me try to put it this way. I mean, I've said it before. I said it before. And we'll go back. We'll go back to PUBG, right? Because you know what a broken mess the PUBG is on the Xbox, right? So yeah. I was led to believe that that processor was the problem. Multiple people have said it. Even Ryan the Professional has said it, that processor in the Xbox One X is trash. It's the same processors that's in the standard Xbox One. It's just been upclocked. And so I guess that's why you were having some problems with some of these games, you know, and even some developers have said it. They said, you know, the processor was going to be the bottleneck. And so because of that, I was led to believe that that's why you are getting games like Sea of Thieves, because I thought that if Microsoft was to go off and develop a game that looked like God of War, it would stress the shit out of that processor, and the results would be just like sickening. You know, I figured you'd have a ton of frame drops, screen tearing, and amongst other things. And so I thought that's why you were getting these cartoon exclusives from Microsoft, these cartoon looking exclusives from Microsoft. I still believe that partially, but I think another reason why you're getting these garbage ass exclusives from Microsoft is because of budget. Some people believe that Microsoft had a choice. You know, they had a budget and they chose to put that budget into hardware rather than games. The other thing that I believe why they didn't give you good quality games is because of the attach rate, so to speak. So you know how we talked about how God of War did 3 million in 3 days.
Yep,
that's an impressive number. It is, but when you look at it from a percentage standpoint, that 3.1 million units that God of War sold only represents about 2.4% of the PlayStations that are out in the wild, because there are about 80 million PlayStations out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now take that scale down to the Xbox. Even if the Xbox had, if I want to be generous, let's say that the Xbox had 40 million consoles sold, right?
Right.
And let's say that they sold a game that did the same percentage as God of War did versus how many consoles are out in the wild. So God of War did 3.1 million, right? 2.4%. So if a game came out on the Xbox brand and it only did 2.4% of the Xboxes that are out in the wild, that game would have sold 1.55 million copies. And when you stop and think about it from the standpoint of, okay, a game might cost 35, 40, 50 million dollars to make, and the game only sells 1.5 million units. You know, if you made a profit, it's only minimal. You only made a slight profit. And with Microsoft's mentality, you know, profit versus cost may not have been worth it. So yeah. Not only that, you know, let's use Sea of Thieves for the prime example. They hyped that game up and said that there were 16 million users on that game, but they didn't give us the actual numbers of how many people actually bought it. But I think Game Informer or whoever else had revealed that the game had sold like 120,000 units or something like that, and it only sold like 20,000 copies in 3 days. Now, what if Sea of Thieves would have ended up costing Microsoft $50 million to make that game, and they only sold 150,000? You know what a big loss they would have taken? And yeah. I think that's what happened with Quantum Break. I think they might have invested a substantial amount of money in Quantum Break, and they didn't get and they probably lost money and didn't get their money back. And I think that's why they don't want to fuck with quality games right now, because of, you know, how many Xboxes there are out in the wild, you know, 35 million maybe, and you make a game in especially a story-driven game, if it doesn't catch on with people, it's going to flop and you're going to lose money.
Right.
So a game like Sea of Thieves, even though that game is bullshit, it is a multiplayer game, and they can still, even if it's only pennies on the dollar, they can continue to collect money off of that game for years and years and years, as long as they keep the you know, the servers active or whatever. So it's all about, to me, it's all about a money thing. You know, why Microsoft isn't putting out these compelling exclusives. You know, I think the budget, the attach rate, you know, the cost to build the game versus the cost of projected sales. I think that's been a factor. I think all that stuff came into play. Yeah, you're right, Emicon. You know, God of War is past 5 million now. So, you know, 5 million at $60, they got their money back hand over fist. You know, I want to make a guess that it probably cost him about $50 million to make God of War, because I do know that it cost about 36 million to make Horizon Zero Dawn, and that game sold 7 million copies. So you know they got their money back hand over fist. They made a huge profit. You know, God of War is only sitting at, you know, it's not only, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. It's sitting on 5 million after being on the market for only a month. And it's only going to get better, you know. And then once they have their first sale where they knock this game down to $40 or something like that, that's when you're going to have your second wave of buyers picking up that game. So there's no doubt in my mind, it might take a while for it to happen, but I think God of War will surpass 10 million. I went out on a limb on the PlayStation Plus podcast to say that it will surpass 15 million. So they made their money back. You know, I don't really know why Quantum Break flopped on the Microsoft side, but I think that is the thing that stands out. I think that was the game that probably made Microsoft say, fuck that, we're not going to spend a bunch of money on these games, because not a lot of people are buying our games. There's not a lot of Xboxes out there to begin with. And then the 35 million out there that do own Xboxes, maybe only half a million or 1 million of them are buying our games. So why should we spend $50 million developing a game and it's not going to sell? I think that's where Microsoft head is at right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that's why they releasing these broken games right now, because the graphics showed you that they didn't spend much on these games to begin with. And then the shortcuts that they have taken, like cutting that body out of the Kraken, and you just got tentacles sticking out of the water. You know that was a shortcut right there to try to save a few dollars. There's no excuse for that. You know, the network issues, all that shit. You know, it's like, and the crazy part about it is, with the rumors about Microsoft always micromanaging these developers and breathing down their necks every 3 seconds, how in the fuck could they let games get out like this that perform horribly? Because that seriously diminishes the quality of a game, you know, if it performs like shit. You know, how could Microsoft let some shit like this get out? You know, with State of Decay having these issues. You know, how could they let PUBG get out like that? And then the crazy part about it, they put it in that preview program, so it takes the excuses right out of their hands. They don't have to make excuses, because you already walk in knowing that these games are incomplete, and then you're paying to play an incomplete game. That makes zero sense to me.
Yeah, I refuse to keep falling into that trap, man. I'm not paying for none more of these beta type games from Microsoft. I just can't do it. You know, when somebody can buy Detroit Become Human on day one and just have a blast, no issues. I haven't heard any issues. All I heard is nothing but how beautiful it is. This and that. Same with God of War. Hardly no issues. You buy it day one out of the box and you play it. All of this half-ass, you know, alpha type beta games, I just can't do it for Microsoft. That's all they're putting out there.
And hell, even Sony's Fatal Mephisto, the Canadian Grizzly Bear. What is up? Even Sony's multiplayer games like GT Sport and the online head-to-head with MLB The Show, they don't seem to be suffering from any issues. I've watched so many videos of people doing live streams playing GT Sport, and I don't see any lag. I don't see anything where they're getting kicked out of races. And you've seen my streams of MLB The Show. I've done several streams of that game. Out of all the streams that I've done, only one of them was dropped because of a network error. All the other games that I've streamed ran buttery smooth.
No problems at all.
No. I mean, you and I did 2 streams, and they both was seamless.
Yeah, I had no issues. No issues at all. And man, I don't know. It's a shame I got a lot of these games on digital for the Xbox. I would trade them in, just take my losses. That's serious, man.
In my case, it's hard for me. It's kind of hard for me to complain in that aspect. Like take Shadow of Mordor, for instance. I bought that game on sale on the Xbox for $6. See, I bought it there first, but then a week later, I saw it on sale at the PlayStation Store for $7, and I went ahead and bought it there because I have the PlayStation Pro, and it did get a Pro patch.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to look better on the Pro versus the standard Xbox One that I have. And that's another reason why I have no reason to buy games on the Xbox brand, because I have the PlayStation Pro and I have the standard Xbox One. So every multi-plat is going to look better on my Pro since it has the more power. Now, if I had the Xbox One X, I would have to, seriously consider which console to get the game on. Which friends do I want to play with and other things, which one has the less server issues and that kind of stuff. If I had Xbox One X, I would have to seriously consider, which direction to go in for the multiplats. But being that I have a standard Xbox One, and I have a PlayStation Pro, it's a no-brainer. I mean, there's no reason for me to buy any games on that console.
Yeah.
Except for, maybe if all our friends, all our Xbox friends from, the Deuce Mob and stuff, if all of them say, hey, let's all commit to getting a game and playing it, those would probably be one of the few circumstances. Or if my son wanted a game and wanted me to get the game so I could play with him, those would be the only 2 circumstances that I would buy a game off the Xbox right now. Mm-hmm. Their exclusives are not compelling, and third-party games naturally are going to look and run better on my PlayStation Pro.
Okay, so what if you had an Xbox One X? Like, what, I know your son got one, but what if you had one?
I was saying it would change my landscape of thinking, because I would have to like take Madden, for instance. Madden does look noticeably better on the PlayStation, on the Xbox One X. Now, don't get me wrong, it looks amazing on the PlayStation Pro, but it looks slightly better on the Xbox One X. So a game like Madden, I would have to seriously weigh my pros and cons about what console I'm going to get that game on. I have to consider which friends I'm going to play with, which of my friends that I'd be able to play with is going to give me the more enjoyable experience, my PlayStation friends or my Xbox friends. That's something that I'd have to consider. Is there any frame rate issues on either of these consoles? That's something that I would have to consider. So yeah, I would have to really think it out, if I had an Xbox One X, but I don't. So it's cut and dry. Everything I buy is for the PlayStation.
Right. It's a tough decision, because one of the things that I really liked about the Xbox One is that the controller for shooters, I thought it was better. I think it's better than the PS4 DualShock. I mean, a lot of people might not agree, especially since they came out with the sales of, as far as the DualShock 4 being the best selling controller. But for me personally, I've always liked the Xbox One controller just for shooters. But everything else, DualShock, I'll probably take over that. But that's mostly what I played with, shooters and sports games at that time when I thought that. But not to say that the PS4 DualShock 4 is bad for shooters. They really did a lot of improvements with the triggers and stuff on a new PS4 DualShock controller. So I wouldn't mind buying Battlefield on a PS4.
Yeah, without a doubt. without a doubt, there's no doubt in my mind that when it comes to fighting games, I think the DualShock 4 is the better controller.
Oh, way better. Yeah, for fighting games for sure. I can't stand the Xbox controller for fighting games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I will admit that now when it comes to shooters, I can use either one of the I can use either one of those consoles. Both not controllers. They both feel natural to me. But yeah, I guess if it comes to shooters, and you put a gun to my head, I would probably take the Xbox controller. 51 to 49. If I had to, do it that way in a vote or whatever. But fighters definitely the PlayStation controllers. But everything else, both of them feel natural to me. I can use either one of them, and I don't have to look down at the controllers and keep, refiguring the buttons in my head and be like, okay, now I'm looking at X, Y, A, B, and over here I'm looking at, square X, O, triangle. None of that shit has to be converted in my head. I just grab the controller and it feels natural. I know which buttons I got to press. Emi Khan, you got to go. I appreciate you stopping by. And yes, definitely make sure you catch the Lincoln Show in a couple hours. You have a good day, my friend. Lunkin Lunker, you would still buy multiplats for the PS4, especially for multiplayer, more install base. Yeah. And the install base is another reason why I don't favor cross-gen. Silver Sky, it's not X, it's cross. Not too bad of a of an opinion. Lunker, I would agree, it's got more of an install base, but that's why I don't think that cross-play is necessary, because I've said it a million times. There's 17 million Nintendo Switches out there. You ought to be able to find somebody to play with. There's about 32, 33 million Xboxes out there. You ought to be able to find somebody to play with. There's about 80 million PlayStations out there. You ought to be able to find somebody to play with. Now, if you got that many people on each of those platforms and you can't find somebody to play with, then you got a problem. That's not a problem with the gaming industry that they should get behind crossplay because it's detrimental to the industry. No, that's your problem if you can't find somebody to play with. And what's the difference especially if you're not chatting, if you're not talking to people? That's all the more reason. What's the difference?
I missed that. What was that? What was that concern about crossplay?
I was saying I don't think there's a need for it, because I was saying that if there's 17 million Nintendo Switches out there, if you're trying to play a game like Rocket League online and you can't find somebody to play with out of 17 million people on the Nintendo Switch, you got a problem. Same thing with the Xbox. There's 32 million Xboxes out there. If you can't find somebody to play with on the Xbox, you got a problem. There's 80 million PlayStations out there. If you can't find somebody to play with on the PlayStation, you got a problem. And what is it about these different platforms that's gonna enhance your experience? If I'm playing Madden on my PlayStation, and then my next opponent turns out to be somebody on the Xbox, what is it about that opponent on the Xbox that's going to enhance my experience? If anything, there's a good possibility that the experience could be diminished, because if he's a toxic fanboy and he finds out I'm on the PlayStation, it's going to be a lot of nasty words thrown back and forth. The only thing that I can see happening coming out of crossplay between the Xbox and the PlayStation is that it will further ignite the console war, because the developers will instigate it. And take Fortnite, for instance. If they were to implement crossplay, if they got the green light to go ahead and do it, I promise you, every time you go on to Fortnite and you boot that game up, you're going to see a stat over in the corner that shows which consoles is winning the most matches. It might say, if it says that like the Xbox platform is winning 70% of the matches, they're gonna use that as firepower, and there's gonna be a lot of nasty shit being said back and forth on across crossplay. Mm-hmm. It's not going to enhance the experience. It's just, to me, it's just going to further ignite the console war. Being that I don't talk to anybody unless I know them. So that's all the more reason why crossplay is not a priority for me.
Yeah, every now and then you will catch a guy who's nice and you could talk to, whatever, but that's very rare, man. You know, most people don't say anything.
Yeah, but you're not gonna have to jump to a different platform to run across that nice person.
Right.
There's asshole and there's nice people on every platform, and you're gonna run into both on every platform.
Yeah.
So going crossplay isn't going to help you avoid something that you don't want to run into, and it's not going to help you find something that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it won't change the experience one bit. And then what if both platforms insist on using their own networks for their end? What if PlayStation insists on using their network for their side of it, and then Xbox insists on using their network, their servers for their side of it? No, that could also cause issues too.
Yeah, it's not necessary, man. It's not necessary. Play your games with the consumers on the platform that they own. Simple as that. We got so much other stuff that can be improved or we can be fighting about than crossplay, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I don't need it.
Definitely. So, I'll be ready to wrap this up in about a half an hour, but I'm going to go check N4G real quick and see if there's any news worth talking about. Whoa, how about this? Instantly, H1Z1 PS4 open beta hits 4.5 million players.
Hey, I have that downloaded, man. I'm gonna check it out because I played PUBG. I gave Fortnite a chance, and I'm gonna give H1Z1 a chance. I'm just gonna give it a chance.
Yeah, let me use one of these made up Xbox stats. Let me use one of these. Hey, H1Z1 has 4.5 million active users, and it's on the PlayStation, and it is an exclusive. That beats your 1 million users on State of Decay. So we win. There.
You sounded like Crap Gamer.
Yeah, that shit sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot, man, and see how I like it.
I played it and it's okay. I mean, the couple of times that I played it, it ran okay. I didn't see a lot of this glitching and shit like that some people have complained about. I haven't seen it. The game is okay. It's a free to play game. Now I'll admit that is one of the benefits of the PlayStation over the Xbox. Free to play games, you are not required to have a PlayStation Plus membership to play it. Like so H1Z1 and Fortnite and I think Warframe, those are games that you are not required to have PlayStation Plus to play those games online. Whereas Fortnite, you still must have an Xbox Live membership in order to play Fortnite online.
Yeah, that's a bonus for sure.
Yes, Lunkin Lunker. Yes, and that in Porter Rock, that's how I found it out through one of his videos. He was the one that pointed that out. That games like Fortnite, you don't need a PlayStation Plus membership to play it. All free to play games on the PlayStation do not require a PlayStation Plus membership in order to play those games online.
Did not know that.
But every one of those games that I've mentioned, H1Z1, Fortnite, Warframe, if all those games are on the Xbox platform, and they are multiplayer, online multiplayer, you will need an Xbox Live membership in order to play those games online. So actually, I think because of that, what I just explained right there, along with PC players being able to play Xbox games online and not require Xbox Live, I guess now finally the Xbox community have finally spoken up about it. And I think, I don't know, like Randall Thor had a video where I guess the title of it says something to the effect of, Xbox Live going to be free or whatever the case may be.
It's hard to see him losing that revenue, man.
Mm-hmm. J-Dog, your son is playing that Rec, Royale on PSVR. I thought that wasn't due out until June 7th. But in any case, I told my son about it, and he's looking forward to trying it when he comes over. because you know, I bought him a PSVR for Christmas, but his bedroom at home is too small to have it in there, so he just elected to leave it here so we can keep it in the living room over here. So he's definitely going to try that, the rec room. Yeah, Spartan God. Yeah, I was just looking at N4G, and it said that H1Z1 has 4.5 million players. My point is, you know, that stat right there to me is meaningless. But on the Xbox side, they would have threw that shit up there like that, like they're winning the console war because of it. Because 2 million people played Sea of Thieves and 1 million people played State of Decay. No, you tell me how many tell me how many damn units that game sold. You know, numbers, they say numbers don't mean anything, but it does mean something to me, because if Microsoft puts out a game that flops, that's one more game that they will not revisit because it failed. The game has to be successful in order for them to consider a sequel to the game. So with that being said, yes, sales do matter in that aspect. If all those God of War games from the past would have failed, do you think we'd have this God of War that we have right now?
Absolutely not.
Horizon Zero Dawn. It's almost a given that a Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is going to come out. If that game flopped, you know, they wouldn't even be talking about it.
See, that's another one in my backlog I got to play, is that game. See, I got so many games to play now, man.
Horizon Zero Dawn, in terms of graphics, set the bar. Well, it raised the bar. I think Horizon, Ratchet and Clank, when I first got, I bought my PlayStation Pro. I didn't get it day one because I wasn't going to get up and go buy the shit at midnight and then spend like 3-4 hours, you know, putting updates and shit like that. So I went and got it the next morning. So I bought my PlayStation 4 Pro, and it came with a copy of Ratchet and Clank. Spartan God, I'm going to get to that in a second. You know, I've said that, you know, at the beginning of this podcast, that I feel that Detroit Become Human is the best looking game I've ever seen, arguably better than God of War. You know, and I use the word arguably because some people may argue that point, but I think it is the best game that I've ever seen. Slightly better than God of War, but better than God of War, no less. Shit, I forgot what I was saying before I jumped over to that point. Ain't gonna lie, been having more fun than God of War. Hey, it's a great game. Damn, I think I was saying something about about sales numbers, why they matter. And that's what I was saying. When I bought my PlayStation Pro, Ratchet and Clank was the first game that I saw that on the PlayStation Pro, because it came with, when I bought my PlayStation Pro, it came with a copy of Ratchet and Clank. And so I took it home and gave it, you know, and added the Pro patch to it, which was like damn near 8 gigabytes, you know, in space. But when I popped that game in, it looked like a Disney Pixar movie. It looked amazing. So when Horizon Zero Dawn came along, it raised the bar. At the time that Horizon Zero Dawn had came out, it was the best looking game that I had ever seen. That game's a year old now. Still looks amazing. Still looks better than anything Xbox has to throw at them.
Yeah. So many good PS4 exclusives, guys. So many of them that I got to play. I am curious to see it. I don't know if you spoke on this yet, but I want to hear your thoughts on the 2-hour Microsoft E3 setup. What you think about that? Like, you think they're going to come with it? Or you think it's just going to be an utterly disappointment with no games, a bunch of features and services and stuff like that?
I think that if Microsoft doesn't have anything worthwhile to show us, if they don't have a lot of content, because if they have content, they're going to show it to us, even if it's a lot of bullshit. But if they don't have content to show us, let's say they got 2 hours worth of content to show us. They're going to show it to us, even if it's bullshit. But if they only have 45 minutes worth of content to show us, then the other hour and 15 minutes is going to be spent showing new controllers that's going to come out, talking to developers for garbage ass games that's on the way, talking to people like Undead Labs about State of Decay, about games that are already out, probably show you a fucking chart about, you know, how many fucking users that this game had and how many pigs got chased and shit like that, and what the future of Xbox is going to look like. You know, it's just going, I think basically after if they have only 45 minutes worth of content, I think the rest of their E3 is going to look like a fucking board meeting.
Yeah. Bunch of unenthusiastic people talking about bullshit, about a bunch of nothing.
Mm-hmm. Spartan
I'm not gonna be interested. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Like Spartan guy said something that he said, to be honest, people say it doesn't count more. You know, we're talking about Detroit Become Human. He said Detroit looks better than God of War. It is the best looking game I've ever seen. But he was saying, to be honest, people say it doesn't count since it's an interactive movie type game. And I get what he's saying there, but because you know, God of War is a really action intense game. And this, I think, you know, put some stress on the processor or something like that. So I think they could only go so far with the graphics, because so it won't compromise the processor. That is my belief. So, you know, there's some technicalities in there, but that's why I said it the way I said it, Spartan God, that is the best looking game that I've ever seen. Is it the best game out there in terms of gameplay? A lot of people would disagree because it seems like a point and click game. But nonetheless, I still love it.
You talking about Detroit Become Human?
I don't know who's saying Wanye Tuda, I don't know who's saying that they're having more fun with Detroit than God of War. But what I'm saying is I absolutely love the game. At one point, I was looking forward to Detroit Become Human more than I was looking forward to God of War.
Right. You was never really a guy. This is your first time getting to God of War, so you know, I can agree with that. But me, it's not going to be more of an enjoyable experience for me. But
I love it. So right now, to say which game I'm having more fun with is, I say it's about equal. Okay. I'm having equal amount of fun with both of those games, and I think because they're different games, you know, the experience is constantly going to be fresh because I can jump from one experience to the other, being that I haven't finished the game. But in terms of the graphics, I'm still going to stick to my guns on that and say that Detroit Become Human looks slightly better than God of War.
Yeah, those screenshots look amazing, man. I've been seeing on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. And I think the Metacritic score that Detroit got, I never expected Detroit, you know, Spartan God, I never expected Detroit to get a real high Metacritic score because of the nature of the game, because people complaining that it was a point and click game. So I figured the best Metacritic score that Detroit would probably get would be an 85. But I thought the lowest it would get would be a 70. So my bad on that one, Gunru. Go ahead and take the mic. What was you gonna say?
Oh no, I think I was gonna ask you. Okay, I asked you about E3 with Microsoft. I kind of lost my train of thought. What else I was going to say after that?
Yeah, you asked me, you know, that you heard that Microsoft had 2 hours worth of content, and I gave my thoughts on that, saying that I think that if they have a minimal amount of content, that the rest of their E3 is going to look like a fucking board meeting with charts, you know, with meaningless charts about the future of Xbox and how much they've grown year over year, that kind of bullshit.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know, man. I have to see it to believe it, man. But they got a lot of work to do, man, anyway. So they better make this 2 hours well worth it for me.
I can tell you right out the gate that I am going to sit and watch Ryan the Professional. What is good? Hey, I watched a good piece of your podcast yesterday, Ryan, and you had a pretty good panel in there with Craig Harris, Mads Gaming, Foxy Games UK, Carlos. You had a pretty good panel in there yesterday.
What's up, Ryan?
So pretty good podcast. I caught part of it, but I'm going to go back and finish watching the rest of it. I think I watched about a half hour of it or something like that, but I'm going to go back and catch the rest of it. But what I've seen so far was pretty good. So good podcast yesterday, friend.
Yeah, if I don't catch it live, I always go back and check them out, man. So be some good stuff.
So so you asked me, what do I think about the Microsoft having 2 hours, a 2 hour show, and I gave you my thoughts on it. That I think there's a strong possibility they might only have about 45 minutes worth of content, and then the rest of it they're gonna show charts, they're gonna show controllers, they're gonna throw stats at everybody about how many fucking pigs got chased. They're gonna throw a Black Panther controller up there on the stage, all that bullshit. What do you think's gonna happen?
I agree. I agree a lot of what you're saying. I think they'll probably throw out some more, remasters. Hopefully a scale bound. Hopefully they bring that back. They got to, because this is the thing. They got to come big with it this year, or nobody's gonna be happy. Everybody's already waiting for them to fail anyway. So I think they're gonna come with some big announcements.
I think now that Scalebound, I think two of the biggest reasons, if they're bringing that game back, I think the two biggest reasons why is one is Game Pass.
Right. Yep. I agree with that.
Because they'll be able to make money off the game for years.
Yeah.
And now that people have been screaming that they want Scalebound, they know at the very least they can go ahead and finish the game. They can get back to developing the game, put it on Game Pass, and that's going to make those Game Pass memberships shoot up just for the simple fact that Scalebound will be on Game Pass.
Yep.
So now, so in the true Microsoft fashion, they are going to go ahead and revisit Scalebound because they know that it's a moneymaker. Now they've gotten confirmation from the Xbox community that yes, we want this game back. So they are going to go ahead and do it. But if they didn't get this, if they didn't, get this protesting and request from the Xbox community that they want Scalebound back, they wouldn't do it because they don't know how the game is going to turn out because Microsoft is just scared to take chances. They won't. They only put their money on surefire shit that they think is surefire hits, like the Forzas, the Gears, the Halos that we've seen 1,000 times. And, games like State of Decay and Sea of Thieves, those games were low risk, high rewards. I think they spent minimal money having those games developed. And because they're on Game Pass, it may take a while to happen, but they'll at least get their money back out of that shit.
Right.
So
I hope they do announce it. That'd be something that the Microsoft fanboys can hold their head about. As long as they don't brag about it like they did something spectacular, because there's so much more work they got to do.
Savage Yuger, I don't know, Hideki Kamiya. I don't know if he's involved in it or not. But what I will say is this: that if Microsoft starts, if they bring back Scalebound and it's a game that they have to build from the ground up and start all over again, you could see another State of Decay on your hands. It could be some more bullshit because Microsoft is going to micromanage the development of this game. They're going to be breathing all down the developers' back. No, we don't want this. Take this out. No, we don't want that kneecap showing. It's going to cost us an extra $5. Take it out. Any little shortcut they can make to cut down on development costs. But I think if the game is already in development, let's say it was already halfway done or something like that, and they take the assets that's already, been developed and finish it from there, then I think the game has a chance of being a decent game. But I think if they have to start this game from the ground up and they put the people in there that they want to put in there, people that have no talent, and with them micromanaging the budget of the game's development, you'll see some bullshit. But they'll put the big AAA hype on this game, do another garbage ass episode of Inside Xbox, and know that this game is gonna have a good launch because the Xbox community wants this game back. They want this game, so Microsoft knows that at the very least they could get their money back, even if it doesn't meet expectations. They heard enough outcry from the community that they believe that they'll at least get their money back. But if nobody would have been saying shit about bring back Scalebound, we wouldn't hear a fucking word about this. None of these rumors would have surfaced.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Wanye Tuna, that just me goes back to saying that you know, obviously Microsoft is micromanaging. They had a reputation of micromanaging developers for years. And then I think you throw in the other variable that if their budget is severely limited because they used it for the development of the Xbox One X, then yeah, you know, that also explains why you see some garbage.
Yep, they've been doing that for years, and it's just been biting them in the ass ever since.
You know, your car gets in a wreck and it's got to be sent to a body shop. If you send it to a body shop where you see award after award on their wall for the great work that they did, you're going to get great work, but you're going to have to spend money on it. But if you try to save a few bucks and take your car to a body shop that looks like Sanford and Son and look like a fucking junkyard, that's what kind of work you're going to get. You know, Microsoft is fucking with bootleg developers and probably paying them, you know, peanuts and micromanaging the development process. When you factor in all those elements, what we got is what we should have expected, you know, from State of Decay and Sea of Thieves. It was no other way it could have turned out.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, EJ? So, I definitely have to take the wait and see approach for Microsoft's E3. Given how shiesty these motherfuckers are, I have to wait. I'm not gonna assume that their E3 is gonna be garbage, but I shows a fuck not gonna go in there and be optimistic that it's gonna be great.
So Lincoln, I know I was going to ask you, man. So I never got a chance to ask you. What are your thoughts on Battlefield 5? Is that a day one buy? Is that a game that you're looking forward to? I know we kind of mentioned a controversy over the female being on the cover, but what are your thoughts on the game itself? Is that a game that, you know, because I know you're not a Call of Duty fan, so not sure if you're looking forward to this game or not.
I'm definitely going to buy the game, but I cannot say that it's going to be a day one purchase. It has nothing to do with the woman. It depends on what my situation is with my backlog.
Got you. That's fair. Yeah.
If I'm working on a game that I really want to play and I'm really determined to finish it, then I might have to wait to get Battlefield. But if everything I want to play is out of the way and nothing's standing in front of me, then yeah, I'll buy it day one.
Yeah. See, for that game, like when Battlefield 1 came out, you know, they had that new campaign, you know, it's called the War Stories. I thought it was short, sweet, and you learned a lot. It was to the point. It wasn't very time consuming. And then right over to multiplayer. I beat it on the hardest difficulty, jumped over and started playing the multiplayer. The multiplayer was kind of lackluster to me because I just think with the World War I and the way the maps were designed, I just didn't like it became kind of boring to me after a while because I just didn't. I like World War II, so I'm fine with that. I just not a fan of World War I in that type of environment. It just made it hard to play after a while. And then when it came out with that $50 premium pass, that always turned me away because I never bought the $50 premium pass. And I'm like, well, everybody else who's hardcore gonna buy it, and I refuse to buy what could be another game for $50. So when they announced that they're not doing that, that really raised my ears up and said, all right, I'm listening. I might have to buy this day one now. Because I wasn't. I'm like, if they announced this season pass crap and they don't change it, I'm just not going to buy it this time, even though I like the single player Battlefield 1. But no matter what my backlog is, that's a game that I can, pretty much beat in a reasonable amount of time and get back to what I was playing and then enjoy the multiplayer, occasionally. So that was my thoughts on it. I'm a big shooter fan. I'm with all this Fortnite and PUBG and H1Z1, those are fun or whatever, but I want a nice military shooter, man, that's not Call of Duty. And,
right.
So I'll probably be going back to Battlefield day one.
And I'm not a fan of Call of Duty to begin with. So
my problem is that, I didn't know what system I was going to buy it for because Xbox been pissing me off. I'm kind of going to fire them from all third-party games, period. But if I can get a nice crew that's playing it on PS4, I'll be more than happy to buy it on PS4 and play it.
Well, I have to be honest. Our crew over on the Xbox, the Deuce Mob, I think a couple of people will talk about getting it. You know, I think Mac 10 will get it. I think Murder will get it.
But how much would they play? That's my thing. Getting it is
Yeah.
one thing, but you know, meeting up with them and playing is another thing. So
Yeah, out of our crew over there, I think Mac 10 and Murder might be the only ones who say they're going to get it, and I believe them.
now he buying Madden too, so I might buy Madden on the Xbox. I know he like to play some Madden. I wouldn't mind purchasing Madden this year and playing it with him.
Well, I have to wait and see on that one because of the EA access. A lot of the fellas over there have opted to wait until it comes to EA access and play it that way versus buying the game outright.
That's true. Yeah.
With that being said, there's no question about it. If I get Madden, it's going to be on the PlayStation Pro because it's the best console that I have.
This is the thing, I'm starting to really love streaming. I want to, stream for my viewers. I like streaming straight to YouTube from it too, like directly to YouTube. So
yeah, that's definitely, I'm starting to like that too. Streaming for the audience, but I'm getting more selective about what I stream for them. Craig Harris, what is up? What is up?
What's up, Craig Harris?
I would love to invite you in here if you want to come in here, but be warned, I'm only going to be on about another half an hour because I need to get ready for the Lincoln show with Foxy Games UK. That's going to be coming up at 3 p.m. Eastern. But as I always do, I can send you a link, and if you want to jump in here, even though we're only going to be on for about a half an hour, feel free. I'd love to have you in here. I remember hearing of Eternal Champion Skip Bayless, but no, I've never played it. Let me see. Send a direct message. Paste. Hangouts. There you go, Mr. Harris. So if you'd like to jump in, feel free. If you are tied up or into something, playing that wonderful Detroit Become Human game, I totally understand. Virtual Fighter, yes, I definitely remember a Virtual Fighter, EJ. I had that on the Sega Saturn, and I couldn't get enough of that game. But I ended up selling my Sega Saturn to get the original PlayStation, the PS1, because I ended up liking Tekken better than Virtual Reality. Both of them were good games, but going all the way back to the original PlayStation 1, the Tekken games had the 10-punch combos in there right from the start. But back then, they were hidden. And the only way that you could get those 10-punch combos was to have to go to places like GameStop, which was known as Electronic Boutique back then, and buy the strategy guides, cheat guides, whatever you want to call them. I wasn't too much into the Tekken tag teams. I do like Tekken 7, though. The only part I don't like about Tekken 7 is that damn bailout shit. That rage shit. When your energy gets so low and you're on the verge of getting knocked out, you can go rage on their ass and basically, that's basically a haymaker. So I ain't really crazy about that. But I do like Tekken 7. And I don't mind streaming that game and I guess showing people that I get my ass whooped, because Titanfall Princess done whoop my ass more times than I can count.
And that's Tekken 7, right? That you've been getting demolished in?
Yeah. Man,
I watch a couple of those, man. I'm like, I feel bad for Lincoln right now, man.
I finally, I beat her for the first time. I beat her a couple of times. I think I beat her twice, but I still think I got mopped up like 15 times. Sick came through there, whooped my ass, and then I think that one night Thrash came through there and cleaned up everybody.
Yeah,
Thrash too. Thrash while he was whooping their ass. My Nostradamus game is on point. you know how Thrash is.
Yeah. Man, look, I'm not the best in fighting games to begin with, but when I see the skills of them, I'm like, wow, I don't know, I might as well just sit back and just be a fan.
But it's fun though. But
fun.
But I was saying that situations like that is when you're going to find out what kind of friends you really have when it comes to playing online. Because you remember that dude LA that lived in LA that I used to play basketball with all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
When I first met him, I think I first met him back in 2003. So I think we were playing 2K3 when I first met him, and that dude used to whoop my ass up and down the block because he was using the Lakers, which they was loaded with Kobe and Shaq and shit like that, and I'm using the Pistons, and they were a terrible team. They were one of the worst teams on the game at the time, and so he was always beating my ass. It was never a problem. We was always cool as long as he was beating me. But then when I switched up and I took the Sacramento Kings that had Chris Webber and I can't remember who else was on there, a part of that team. I want to say Mike Bibby. I can't, but in any case, I took the Sacramento Kings and I beat him. All of a sudden, he started hollering, "That's fucking bullshit. That's fucking bullshit." That's when I first started hearing that stuff.
Uh-huh. I remember that, and that's why I stopped playing with him, because he always was, he'll turn it into an argument, or he'll point out flaws in the game and all this stuff when he wasn't winning no more. And when Lakers wasn't as good anymore, I stopped seeing him as much.
Deagle Shot was another one. He was always cool. When I first met him, he was beating my ass on 2K hockey because like 2K used to make a great hockey game. They made the best hockey game out there. He used to beat my ass in that hockey game. But I think it took me about a year before I finally beat him. I ended up beating him on 2K. When I beat him, he got to hollering and screaming and accused me of glitching and shit like that. And that's when, like I said, that's when you're going to find out what kind of friends you got. If you meet somebody and they kicking your ass, you're going to find out what kind of friend you got when you finally get that win against them.
Yeah.
But some people are some huge sore losers.
And that was one of my motivations for joining the YouTube and the gaming community this way too, is because you can you meet friends that's actual real friends that you talking about our passions with gaming and games that we have similar interests in. We can collaborate and play and do it for the viewers, and the viewers can become friends, and if they want a game and stuff, it's all in fun. And you meet a lot of good people that way too. So that was another one of my motivations to, join the YouTube community.
Skip Bayless, 2K even made great football games. Skip Bayless, 2K made the best football game out there before.
Oh, it was the best.
Before EA pulled that bitch move and signed that exclusive contract with the NFL. When they did that, I knew they did they were going to do what Microsoft is doing right now, because the competition was eliminated when they signed that contract with the NFL, and they were the only one allowed to make a football game. They were going to make one game, and that was going to be it. That was the game you were going to have to deal with for a few years. They were not going to be motivated to make improvements to the game. They were just going to make little tweaks here and there, but for the most part, you were going to get the same basic game. And that's why they signed that contract with the NFL, because year after year, 2K was the better football game. And it was only a matter of time before I feel that the fan base was going to jump over from Madden, because Madden was the established franchise. It had a bigger fan base, but I think it was only a matter of time before the momentum was going to shift over to NBA, NFL 2K. Look what happened to the basketball franchises. Back in the day, NBA Live was the bigger basketball game. But over the years, people made the transition, and now 2K is the more popular game. It would have happened to the football games if EA had not signed that contract with the NFL. Eventually, 2K would have been the top football game out there now. But like I said, EA did that bitch move. Skip Bayless, how in the world will Microsoft stop Sony from making the PS5?
Stop making a PS5.
He says right here, Microsoft better not stop Sony from making the PS5. He also said that EA did what the WWF did to the WCW in 2001. Kind of did an EA move. The WWF absorbed the WCW, and combined all their wrestlers into one unit, into one organization. But Sony would never sell to Microsoft if that's what you're talking about. So that's one area where Microsoft is not going to be able to buy their way to victory. They're going to have to get out there and earn it. They're going to have to come out there. They're going to have to put good content out. They're not going to be able to buy their way to a win. Putting out games like State of Decay and Sea of Thieves, they're not going to be able to buy their way to that game being popular. They're going to have to make those games better.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're in the position that they're in right now, where everybody's threatening to walk, because they haven't put out anything, and the last couple of games have been garbage. I've said it. I've said it in numerous podcasts. Ever since they unveiled the Xbox One X at last year's E3, the only game that Microsoft put out that was not an indie game was Forza 7. Everything else was indie shit. Cuphead, Super Lucky's Tale, PUBG. Even though they didn't develop it, they still put it on the Xbox brand and treated it like it was an exclusive, and it ran like dog shit. It looked like dog shit. Sea of Thieves and now State of Decay. And if they ever get it out there, Crackdown 3. Now, Crackdown 3 to me is not a AAA game. It looks better. I think it's going to look better than an indie game, but it's not going to look as good as a AAA game. So with that being said, Forza, since the Xbox One X was revealed, Forza, to me, it was the only game they put out that was a AAA game. You know, even though Cuphead was a good game, it's still an indie game. I would look at Cuphead the same way I look at Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th was an indie looking game with me. Sure, it was fun, but it was an indie game no less. It was not a AAA game. I'm not sure the exact date, Lunkin, when E3 is.
The exact date of E3?
Yeah.
I think it starts June 9th. I know EA's is June 9th. Microsoft's is Sunday, which I'm glad is on a weekend. That's Sunday, June 10th, 1 p.m. Pacific. So what's that? 4 p.m. Eastern? Is that 4 p.m. Eastern time?
Not sure, but I'll Google it at some point. You know, as you know, and then I'll Google it and get an exact date and time. Because I definitely want to make sure that I see it. But I'm pretty much going to treat this E3 like an episode of Inside Xbox. I don't care what Microsoft is saying. I'm not expecting that much from them. They're going to have to show me. If they put out a lot of compelling shit, I will say, okay, they had a good E3. But I'm still going to add my take on what I think this means for Microsoft going forward and how the community is going to be affected by it.
Yeah, because most fans, and a lot of people are already starting to sell off these Xboxes, getting their PCs, and I really don't think there's no turning back for a lot of these guys. So I don't know what they can do to try to save themselves right now at this point.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing they're trying to do is, appeal to the casuals and the Xbox, fanboys that's left over.
Mm-hmm. Right. If Microsoft ends up having a terrible E3, I am going to wait a couple of days before I have a podcast and talk about it, because I just want to see how many YouTubers are going to try to damage control it.
Right.
Because if they have a bad E3, the next 48 hours is going to be a firestorm. And I just want to see what the reaction is going to be before I jump on a podcast and talk about it.
It's a good idea. Let's listen to all the crying and bickering for a minute.
Mm-hmm. So let's switch in your direction. Now that your channel is up and running, you got your intro video out. When do you think we can expect to see something new from you in terms of a video or a live podcast, for that matter?
You guys have been busy, like you interviewing Foxy today, and has been a couple podcasts. I've been more watching podcasts than getting on my own, but I do have to jump in there and get my own stuff started. But I'll be working on it throughout the week. Like I said, I'm finishing up this. I'm going 3 days a week, so that's been the hardest thing for me is to get started, is being traveling 3 days a week. But I'm glad I got my intro video out. So y'all go check the intro video out. Hit the subscribe, and the content is coming. And I will probably do a live stream the first time. And hopefully you guys can hop in there with me and talk some gaming. And I'm pretty much, man, I'm pretty much a newbie. So having you and Sick and Craig Harris and King Threat, all you guys, man, is gonna be a big help to me in growing my channel. As long as I'm connected with you guys, I'm confident that I can make it work. And it's just about a matter of me putting the content out there. It is coming, but I want to do more like, I'm not really into game reviews and stuff like that. I like to give my impressions, and I don't like to stream certain games and spoil it for people. I know people like to get in there and do it themselves, but I'll post like reaction videos to certain games that I play. And one of my favorite things is going to be to do live podcasts, live streams for you guys. I think that, I like to be connected with the chat, connected with the community that way, instead of just posting a video and sending links out to watch a video. I like to just jump in there live. I gotta have the subs for that, so y'all need to sub to me, and so y'all can know when I'm on. And feel free to jump in there. I don't care if it's one person, two people, whatever. The more the better, and I'll be here.
Yeah, I think I can't really comment on which direction that I think a person should go, whether they should focus more on full-blown videos, or whether they should focus on live streams, or whether they should try to balance the two, because there are YouTubers out there that have proven that either of those directions work, because the majority of King Thrash's content is full-blown videos, and he's I think he's approaching I think he's sitting on about close to 2,500 subscribers, and he had 600 subscribers when I first subscribed to him.
Yeah, remember that.
Yeah. And Sick is almost exclusively live streamed, but he's I think he's sitting on 2,700 subscribers. So I mean, both Sick Humor and King Thrash they've made their style of content work. So because of that, I can't really tell you which direction you should go in. I think for me, live streams have worked for me because it allows me to interact with the community. And I also think, that the viewers enjoy the Lincoln Show as well. At least I hope they do.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy it. I'm a fan of the Lincoln Show. So I got a couple ideas in a couple ideas in mind. So I want to eventually get me a PC, because this Mac just don't work for me as far as like trying to do stuff with. I'd rather have me a nice PC. So I'm gonna work on getting that. And then I'll kind of do both at first. I'll probably post videos, and then I'll try to have some, once I get my sub count up a little bit, then I'll start doing more live streams that way. So
without a doubt, don't hesitate to if you're out there going live and you see me in the comment section or something like that, and you want to bring me in, don't hesitate to send me a link.
Sweet. I appreciate it. My man. And so, like, even if I go live and say nobody's in there, I'll still post a video to my YouTube channel, and then you guys could always watch it and see what topics I was talking about. Or if you agree or disagree with the topics, then feel free to jump in the chat the next video, and I'll just keep doing it that way as well.
Yeah, so, once you finish a live stream, it will automatically process and then upload.
Yep.
So your subscribers will still get the notifications. And you want to make sure, as Porter Rock told me, you want to make sure that you want to put some stuff in the tags, Xbox, PlayStation, your YouTube name, amongst other things. So when people do a search, it'll come up in those searches. And he said you also want to make sure you put, something in the description, like small bullet points, so everybody can get an idea of what it's going to be about. So, those were things that he was telling me off air, giving me advice on how to help my channel grow.
Okay.
And so without a doubt, people have helped me, so I'm going to give the love back and help, and help people myself. So, I mean, 200 subscribers is phenomenal to me. For some people, that's, this got 50,000 or whatever. They might look at me like I'm a little peewee or something like that, but I really don't care. My channel has far exceeded my expectations. I think I have the best. I think I have the best viewers on YouTube in terms of people commenting. I think I have the best. I think I have the best comment section on YouTube. It's never a dull conversation whenever I go live. When people comment.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely appreciate that. And so with that being said, I think it's going to be time for me to go ahead and bring this to a close because it is 1:45 p.m. Eastern time. So that's 1 hour and 15 minutes before I go live with Foxy. And I want a little bit of time to get some Detroit Become Human in before I go live. And plus I need to eat too. I haven't eaten anything and I don't really have anything to eat. So as far as meat goes, so I'll probably end up eating a bowl of cinnamon toast crunch or something like that.
That's funny. I got that here too.
Well, it's that
I gotta make me a grocery shopping run in a minute.
Yeah, same here. It's almost like that cinnamon toast. It's almost like that cinnamon toast shredded wheat type of shit. Have you tried that yet?
I haven't tried that one.
Yeah, it's cinnamon toast, but they more like those checker shredded wheat things.
Okay.
But it's cool. Thank you, Savage. I appreciate it. J-Dog, thank you so much. Those compliments really mean a lot to me.
Thanks, Savage. Thanks, J-Dog. I appreciate you guys, man.
Mm-hmm. Mark Jackson, this picture right here was taken. The picture that you're looking at right here, that picture was taken it was definitely taken last summer. I want to say it was taken about last July. So that picture's not even a year old yet.
Let me tell y'all something, man. When I first met Lincoln, man, and I didn't know his age for a while. And when I first found out, it was mind-boggling to me, man. He do not look his age at all. That is a recent picture. He take care of himself. And, man, I tell you what, man, a lot of guys I see that's younger, man, there's no way they're going to look like this guy when they his age, man. That's all I got to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mark, just hang on a second. So as I was saying, that picture was taken about, last July. So that picture isn't even a year old yet. I'll show you my most recent picture that I have in my library. So I'll share my screen with you. Hang on.